Hi, another Mrs. H Psychology. This is for paper 2 for approaches and very specifically the comparison essay. So I've done one on psychodynamic. This time it's going to be on a behaviourist approach. So let's look at the question. The question would be just something like discuss whatever approach, refer to at least one other in your answer. So again, we're very focused on this approach. The essay is on this approach. So here we're going to look at behaviourists. So we would want to outline our key assumptions. Okay, so this is a revision video, so my guys should know about this, but there are videos out there, my videos, for example, to help you on the behaviours if you need more detail. So we would outline a little bit, we'd mention and outline these key assumptions, and then our discussion is really focused on the comparisons and obviously stating whether one is better, etc., etc. So let's have a look at those. Okay, so the first one is going to be behaviours versus SLT. So here are your key areas: learning, direct or indirect. So behaviourists believe that learning has to be direct versus indirect, vicariously. Reinforcement, they believe it's necessary for learning to occur, and they say it's not necessary. We've got mediational processes, as we know, the different methods used. Environmental determinism, this is a hard determinism. I've put here, it's definitely soft determinism. You've got there free from coercion and constraint. This is a little bit more free will. But it's basically saying with soft determinism that we can choose, even though we have the same processes, we can choose what we'll reject and what we choose to pay attention to, for example, what we learn, for example. Nature and nurture, explained there, different types of learning. They're both learning theories, but in different ways. They both use objective experimental methods, but different ways. And they both have practical applications, for example, therapy, for example, here, how media could be used. Moving on, so if you want to just pause the screen and just check that you've got all the info you need there. Moving on, if you had time, you might want to bung in a few more evaluative points, but pretty much these have been covered with those points up here. Okay, but there's a little bit there that you could add in if you needed it. And then we're going on to behaviours versus cognitive. So key areas again for discussion. And then you can pause the screen so you can have a good look at those. Okay, so behaviours again the same, and then I'm giving you a comparison for the cognitive. So pause the screen, just check that you're okay with all of those, and you can make a note of them. Going on very briefly, behaviours versus humanists. Then we have behaviours versus biological. And just going back up to the question, making sure that we are clear on that. We are discussing the behaviourist approach, so we've outlined it, and then it's our comparisons that are really developing our AO3s. And obviously if you have a STEM question, you need to be applying that to whatever is in the STEM. Okay, now I'm going to move on to video 3, doing another comparison.